Brawlhalla is probably not the first game that comes to mind when you think of luck. In fact, it's probably one of the last games that comes to mind, as it doesn't have random generation like Minecraft or cases like CSGO or TF2. Well, actually, it kinda does. Brawlhalla's chest system is a way a lot of people obtain character skins, and unlike CSGO or TF2, I actually find them pretty fair. You see, you pay a discounted price in hopes to get a skin you want, but if you don't, you're still guaranteed a skin around the same exact value. Meaning, if you were to open one single chest on a fresh account, you would have a 1 out of 18 or 5.5% chance of getting your desired skin. But it goes a little deeper than that. The Odin chest was the first ever chest introduced to Brawlhalla all the way back in 2016, and because of that, it's the only chest in the game to have 16 items, which in this case is actually good because it raises your chances to a pretty solid 6.25% chance. But that is only scratching the surface because there's a different and far more complex system known as drops. Introduced in late August of last year, Brawlhalla released a system called the reward system, which allows people to get any cosmetic just by watching ads. And the reason I say it's far more complex is because you can obtain any non-exclusive character skin, weapon skin, sidekick, emote, emoji, or avatar, all at a completely random chance. So let's run this again. Let's say I'm on a fresh account with nothing unlocked and I want one specific skin. What are the chances that happens on the very first try? Well, first I need to count every single non-exclusive cosmetic in the game, which if you weren't aware is a lot. Especially considering the fact that there is no database to help me out here, but with some simple math, it was actually a lot easier than I thought. There are 28 pages of character skins with 2 rows of 5, so all we have to do is 28 times 10, which obviously equals 280, and then minus the 2 on the end page, which leaves us at 278 character skins. But of course, BMG couldn't make it easy for us, as crossovers have their very own tab, so add another 67 on there for a total of 345 character skins. Now, I'll save you guys all the trouble and apply this to the rest of the cosmetics, leaving us with 49 emotes, 198 item skins, 24 sidekicks, 216 avatars, and finally 46 emojis, leaving the chances of getting one specific item from one singular drop at an insane 1 out of 878, or a staggering 0.113895216% chance, which honestly wasn't as bad as I thought considering what was next to come. Believe it or not, there is a feature inside Brawlhalla that will make these odds seem amazing. I'm talking about the dice roll. When you enter the training mode in Brawlhalla, there is a feature that allows you to randomize your whole entire setup, including the base skin, the color, both weapon skins, and even which sidekick you use. And as you can imagine, a randomizer tool like this opened the floodgates to what the rarest occurrence could possibly be in Brawlhalla. And for starters, this tool can and will use any cosmetic that has ever been released in the game, which finally opens the possibility to include event, ranked, and battle pass exclusive items to our data, which alone will tremendously increase the rarity. The first thing I needed to do was find out who has the most character skins, which surprisingly happened to be a 4-way tie between Hattori, Teros, Diana, and Val, all of them respectively having 14 skins. But in all honesty, at this point, I figured this wouldn't matter too much because the sample size for character skins is much smaller compared to the sample size of weapon skins, which becomes a problem if the weapons those 4 use is heavily outweighed by other weapons, because then their leg up on character skins would become irrelevant. But honestly, that was a problem for later, because now I had the task of counting every single weapon skin from every single weapon. But luckily, the Brawlhalla wiki came in clutch with a list of all the weapon skins laid out perfectly for me to calculate. The results were honestly what you'd expect: sword with 157, spear with 151, 140 on blasters, 135 on hammer, gauntlets with 129, followed narrowly by axe with 125, katars with 122, bow with 113, and surprisingly scythe with only 102, lance with 97, 65 on orb, cannon on 59, and then obviously the newer weapons starting with greatsword on 42, and finally battle boots with 24. If you didn't catch it already, then I'll be very happy to tell you that Hattori is officially the character with the most item options because sword and spear sat at the very top of the list. And with that means we are in the end game. All that was left to do was to count every color and sidekick, which was easy enough. We had 28 sidekicks and 40 colors, and adding all these numbers up leaves us with only 392 items. But the biggest and most important difference with this randomizer is it has 5 events that need to line up perfectly on the first attempt instead of 1 like the previous examples, which means we have to take the individual percentages of each item and then calculate them all together as one whole. So, theoretically, if I wanted to land on Cutting Edge Hattori with the Coat of Lions color scheme, Plasma Cleaver, Needle Drop Spear, and Grim as my sidekick on my very first try, it would be an insane 0.000002624% chance of happening, making this by far the rarest occurrence in all of Brawlhalla. But there's possibly an even rarer occurrence that is impossible to calculate. I'm talking about a tiebreaker where both players fall off the map at the same exact time. Obviously, if you do this purposely, it isn't that rare, but to happen in a random match without any communication or intent, it could very well be even rarer than the randomizer itself. But unfortunately, as of right now, we have no idea if that is right or wrong, and yeah.